So I'll be presenting on the topic building 3D games with Flame and Flutter. So how many of us here are Flutter developers? Flutter developers, can you wave? We don't have Flutter developers in the house. Okay, yeah, Flutter developer. Yeah. So okay, how many of us love games? How many of us love building games? I mean, playing games. Let's start from there first. How many of us playing live games? Okay, so I'm not alone then. So, I also love playing games. So that's like what actually brought me to Flutter. Okay, let's. Oh, what am I pointing to? Okay. Yeah. So oh, anyway. Yeah. So that brought me to Flutter. Back in 2016, that time, I was playing San Andreas, GTA Vice City. I mean, I was really playing games exactly. Then that time, I really played games to the extent that I wanted to like start creating my own games, and I stumbled upon Flutter. So like to cut the long story short, but I'll first of all say that building 3D games with Flutter and Flame. 3D currently in Flutter is still like is an experiment, still more like an experiment stage or an experimental stage. So we're not fully there yet. But I'm building 2D games with Flame. Yes, we're there already because but right now we can start actually building 3D games with the new updates that Flutter started using Impeller as its rendering engine. So that made it possible for us to be able to start building 3D games. Then okay, about me, I'm a new man, I'm a Nigerian, I'm a mobile developer, and I'm a never-ending student of life. Okay, 3D. So basically, when they say 3D, what comes to our mind? 3 dimensions. So there is the X, Y, and the Z plane now. Remember in no, not primary school, sorry, secondary school mathematics, yeah, they would teach us y-axis and x-axis. Yeah, I mean which was majorly x and y-axis we knew about, and basically what x and y-axis is basically walk forward, backward, left, then right. Basically that's what you can do. So that's like the x and the y-axis. But in 3D, 3 dimensions, so the third dimension is so in the diagram, the third dimension is depth. So that means we're going up here. But actually, in reality, it's not like the game will be going up or something. More like the depth, the z-axis there is the depth and volume. So as we are going to the left, it's the depth is we are trying to now the object you are seeing is coming closer to you, then it gives you the feeling that it's 3D. Then we are going to the back to that, it's like it's coming backward there, coming backward to you. So that's like the flow of 3D in Flutter development. So it's left, right, center. I mean left, right, front, back, then depth. So as you're going forward, it's becoming bigger, and as you're coming back, it's becoming smaller. So basically, that's how it works. Okay, I think, yeah. So okay, I've done most of the explanations here already. So then the exciting part of this is the graphics rendering. So where you have the 3D models made with vertices, edges, and faces. So coming back to this diagram, if you guys notice, in mathematics, let's go back to mathematics again. If you notice, there is one going up and down. If you try to draw, yeah, is this okay? You try to draw from Z, you try to draw a line from the Z angle down to from Z to X, it will form a triangle. Exactly same as from Z to Y, it's going to form a triangle. Then from X to Y to it's actually going to form a triangle. So basically that's how it's. So what you are seeing, what we call 3D, basically is just what you can see normally. Okay, I think okay, yes. So this is what I was trying to explain. What you can see normally your phone is still in 2D. Your phone is still rendered in 2D. But what it does is it converts the x and the y axis and the z axis, then it turns it to, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the hang of this. So it basically converts the x, y, z angles, then forms the matrices, the vertex, edges, and the face. So there's something. Sorry. Okay. So these are objects in the real world, 3 objects in the real world. Then there is a component, or how I put it here, more a component or a property in Flame and Flutter. It's called the camera. So what the camera does is it converts the 3D object you can see using matrix transformation. That's the we did mathematics here. You have your, I think I have an image. You can just make it. I'm trying to picture it now, like matrix transformation. We know matrix transformation, or how many of us are aware with here? So basically, what happens here is it converts the vertex. The camera converts the vertex to using matrix transformation to display the object in 2D form to make it look like 3D. Basically, that's what we are doing here. Then, so I see on how 3D games work. So physics. So there is mathematics side and there is the physics side. So the physics, there is the collision, there is the gravity, rigid bodies, forces in 3D spaces. So, for instance, collision is heavily dependent. Building 3D games also is heavily dependent on physics. So, for instance, if a player is walking in, the player is not walking into the wall. You make sure the player is not walking into the wall, so that when the player hits the wall or a collision, you react to it. And making sure that and gravity, that I'm trying to remember a game. Yes, Super Mario. I don't know what's this Super Mario. That time, the place where Mario hits something and Mario just goes down. Exactly. To avoid something like that, yeah, that's gravity. You're able to like have physics to like, I mean, it's a lot actually. The lighting and shading. So basically, the lights and shading, it simulates the brightness, the shadows, reflections, and the shaders, they tell each pixel how to look. Then components. So back to components too. I think I mentioned components. So everything, like as Flutter developers, there is this our phrase, everything in Flutter is a widget, but in Flame, everything in Flutter is a component. And basically, the definition of component. A component is a fundamental building block used to create various game elements. So, for instance, if I want to build a 3D game, I will have a player, I will have a wall, I will have the floor, I will have the environment, or anyhow I want to build the game. I will have each components for the particular game. Basically, that's what it's about. And the component life cycle. So we have the widget life cycle. There's also a component life cycle where at the beginning of the game, the unload method, sorry, the unload method calls the resize, then on mount, then you add all players. Basically, components. Okay, all right. Then from unload, just like in state, as Flutter developers, unload in state, then then on mount, then this is where you load all the components inside in on mount. Then it runs all and resizes, then runs once. Then there is also an update method which you update when the user reacts, when there is a reaction, when the user reacts to an object in the game. For instance, the user hits an object, the update function there is called to like update what happens and update the state of the game. Then I'll remove when you're done, just remove it. Then back, continue the circle round and round and round and round. Then, well, so supposed to be a workshop. So I was talking, yeah, so we are supposed to just use this link to start of the workshop, so we can just like have a code along and all. So I guess this comes to the end of my presentation.